it feel like days. Only been days, but it feel like months. Been gone for a year, only know like once. Life move fast when you do.
Good morning, guys, and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Lacey, and I am a 7th grade language arts teacher. I am doing my makeup. I'm about to head out for work, but it is Monday the 27th. It is Red Ribbon Week, so for today, it is Jersey Day, so I had to take this from my husband. I like that the themes for Red Ribbon Week are a little more tame because for Homecoming Week, they were able to dress up crazy. And of course, because they're dressed up crazy, they forget they're at school and the behavior was crazy as well. And that was a couple weeks ago. So I am glad that at least our dress up days this week are pretty chill. Today's Jersey Day, tomorrow is Mismatch Day, the next day is Neon Day, the next day is just wear red for Red Ribbon Week, and then Friday is orange and black because it's Halloween. So I feel like that's pretty tame and hopefully the behavior is calm this week. I guess we'll see. But I got my hair done over the weekend, if you can tell, because I was a ninja for our Halloween party. We have an annual Halloween party that we always throw. My husband, his brother, and all their friends, they always throw this huge party. And I was a ninja, and I felt like this hairstyle kind of fit the ninja vibe. So I'm gonna wear my hair like this for a couple weeks. With my hair being so thick, it won't last longer than a couple weeks, but that's okay. I am gonna hang out with you all day and just show you what a typical day is, share my thoughts, and let's just have a good Monday. I just made it and I just turned on all my lamps. I turned on my LED and I'm trying to get this board on. As you can see, it's coming on. And as you know, on Friday, I went ahead and I changed the date and I wrote everything on the board because you guys know I like to be able to come in and have my room ready. So all I really need to do is just straighten up the desks because they are always a mess at the end of the day, but that's always a morning problem. And another thing I want to show you is what our idea is for our door, because I do have to decorate my door for Red Ribbon Week. It's really optional, but I did give the kids an option if they wanted to do it or not, and they said they did, so they are in charge. I'm just gonna sit back and facilitate, and they will do the hard work. So anyway, for the actual assignment of today, they are doing a compare contrast chart. We've done a lot of Venn diagrams. I feel like they're sick of those, so I made a chart this time. They're reading an article called "A Police Stop Changed This Teenager's Life," and it's basically a story about how the police were showing generosity towards this young boy who was walking in a bad neighborhood at night. He was just walking to and from work. He wasn't doing anything wrong, and the police ended up buying him a bike because they just wanted him to be safe. So it's about generosity. And then the last story from last week called "Thank You Ma'am" by Langston Hughes. It was another story about generosity. A young boy was trying to take the purse of a woman, and instead of taking him to the police station, she took him home and gave him a meal and washed his face and just took care of him. So we're gonna compare and contrast those two texts, and it's gonna take a while because they do need text evidence, and it's just gonna be a calm Monday. I would typically do that in partners, but just for behavior purposes, they're gonna do it on their own, and I will take it up for a grade. So that's what they're doing today. So it should be a pretty good day. For decorating my door, I gave them 8 options, and they voted on Among Us. So I printed out the inspo picture so they know, and we're gonna make it pretty much look just like this. And it says drugs are an imposter. This one says drugs is, but that is grammatically incorrect. So we're going to say drugs are an imposter, and we're gonna have the little Among Us characters. This is black with like white stars because in the game, that's part of the game, but I couldn't find any black paper. So I have navy blue paper, which I still feel like is like the night sky. So that should be fine. And then I printed out these little characters. So as they come in a few minutes, I'm gonna tell them, get a character and color it. And same thing with the letters. I cut out all the letters for drugs are an imposter, and they need to color those as well. Not sure if I have time to get them laminated, but it's fine because it's not that deep, because you already know after Red Ribbon Week, the door is gonna be ripped down. As they come in, I already have all the scissors because they are gonna have to cut out their character. I printed these coloring pages, and obviously we don't want the whole huge rectangle on the door. Honestly, we probably won't have room for all 21 of my homeroom students to color these and put them on the door, but I do want to give them all an opportunity to color, and we'll just choose the ones that we can. And then I printed out drugs are an imposter in this cool font, and it's a font where they can color it in. So I feel like we are good to go. So when they come in, I'm gonna tell them, go ahead and color and let's do this door. I'm on break now. I dropped the kids off at Connections, and then I talked to Celeste's mom and the lunch ladies as always. And then we did have like a 10-minute meeting, but I'm back in my room now, and we still have about an hour until the kids come back. My first priority is to figure out what I'm doing for clubs tomorrow. So my school has clubs the last Tuesday of every month, and I didn't realize that it's already that time again. And I was put in charge of poetry club, and so I am having to come up with some sort of poetry fun assignment for the club. As you can imagine, a lot of kids were not excited to choose poetry club, so I literally have 3 kids in that club. I'm gonna use my planning time to figure that out, and then I will get back to what I actually need to do, which is putting some grades in and making a study guide for their quiz that they have Thursday. So I decided to do something called the ABC poem. I kind of made it up, but maybe it is a real thing, I'm not sure. But basically they are going to make a poem, and each line has to start with whatever letter in the alphabet. So our first line will start with A, the second line will start with B, and I put the topic as social media just so it's lighthearted and it's fun, and I will sit with them at the student desk and do it with them, because again, it's literally 3 kids. Our first club, we did an acrostic poem, which I did hang them on my wall. I try not to really show student names or anything, but here's what they are. Here's mine with Lacey. So we did a acrostic poem, which was fun and everything, but this one will take a little bit more time, and I challenged them to try to make it rhyme, if they can make it rhyme. If they do that, then I will give them candy, because that makes it harder. So I think that'll be fun. I literally only need 3 copies. Honestly, I would typically just print 3 copies from my printer, so I wouldn't have to use the copier for 3 copies, but it has to be front and back, so I'm gonna have to go use the copier. Before I go to the copier though, I do want to look over what we're doing this week and just make sure I don't need to make any other copies, because I hate walking back and forth. I'm back from making copies. I went ahead and made 5 front and back copies because there were only 3 people that came last time, but you really just never know with clubs, because even people in my homeroom said, oh, I signed up for this, but then they went to another one that they didn't sign up for. And us teachers, we didn't really have a roster, so we just had to really accept anyone. So I don't know exactly who is coming tomorrow. So I made 5 copies, and now I'm gonna sit back down and work on making a study guide, because they have a quiz on Thursday about the story from last week and the story from this week. It is one quiz, but it's both stories combined because they are similar, which is why we're comparing and contrasting. So I'd like to make a study guide for quizzes, which is a bit extra, because obviously usually you make a study guide for a test, but because these curriculum quizzes are a little bit hard, I've been making a study guide for every single one and doing it a little bit extra work. So that's what I'm gonna work on now. And then when the kids come back, I will continue circulating the room and helping people, because the chart they're doing is a decent amount of work. So I have been walking around helping. I don't want to just sit down if I see them struggling. I have 12 minutes till the kids come back, so I'm about to run to the restroom, but I decided to not work on the study guide because we technically don't need it till Thursday. I decided to maybe do that tomorrow. And for today, I am actually going to grade the trials from last week. If you watched the last vlog, they did a trial for the main character in what we read last week. And it was literally 4 slides. It's just a classwork grade. It was not like a project or anything. And unfortunately, just looking at my first class, I had 11 who turned it in and 10 who did not. So it's literally half and half. I try not to give zeros as much as I can. So I am going to see how far they got, because on Google Classroom, it does have drafts. So if they only got 2 slides done out of 4 and they just didn't turn it in because it wasn't done, I can still at least grade the 2 slides. I am going through everyone's work, even if it's not turned in, because it will show me how far they got. And then tomorrow I can start looking ahead at the study guide and getting ready for the quiz. It is 3:15. I have an empty classroom. The classroom is a mess, but that's a problem for later. I am officially done for the day. We can't leave quite yet, but I am going to write the stuff on the board and get all the copies ready for tomorrow. Today was kind of a fail because they did not finish that worksheet. It was a decent amount of work, but I really just thought it would last just one day. And unfortunately, we are starting a project tomorrow, so I don't really have any time for them to finish it. So today is one of those days where I was reminded that you don't have to grade everything. And of course I know that, but I did plan on grading this and it just didn't work out. So honestly, I do have a lot of grades going in. They have a quiz, like I mentioned, on Thursday. They also have a project they're starting tomorrow, and they have homework due Friday. So I already have 3 grades going in this week, so it'll be all right. Some days are like that. Some days things don't go to plan. So we're just gonna move on and start the project tomorrow. And if they ask me, hey, do you still want this assignment? Do you still want me to finish it? I'm just gonna say no because we're out of time. As usual, I had a student change the date on the board and also change our countdown to Thanksgiving break. And now I'm going to write on the board. Our opening always is the same because we've started doing grammar practice. It's called DGP, Daily Grammar Practice. They're given a sentence, and each day they have a different task with that same sentence for the whole week. So every day we have a quick grammar warm-up, and then they are going to review text structures tomorrow. They should already know it, but I am going to review it because it is going to be on that quiz Thursday. So even if they know it, I obviously need to teach it if I'm going to assess them. So they have a text structure review and Jeopardy game that we'll play, and then they are going to start their project. It is a research project, but we're just using Google. For my accelerated class, I am accommodating it, and they will do it in groups and they will present, because I need to start modifying that class slightly. Even though it's the same amount of work and it's the same directions, they are going to do it in groups because the school wants us to actually treat the accelerated class as an accelerated class and kind of push them a little more. So that group will present, but my other classes, it will be individual. So they're going to start that project tomorrow, and that will be due Thursday after the quiz. A lot going on this week. Friday, we have a fun picnic. It's not really an academic day because the parents are coming. We're going to have a picnic, play some games. So we have a lot to do in a 4-day week. Since I didn't have anything that I had to do and the board's already done, I decided let me go ahead and do the stars. I had the students do the paper, and I had a student cut out the window, but I figured I'll just do the stars in paint because I don't really trust that paint is going to go very well because kids play too much. So I went ahead and I did the stars. I feel like it looks kind of like snow right now, so I'm not sure what to do about that, but at least it's done. And tomorrow and the rest of the week, all we have to do is put the little Among Us characters on here. I only have 3 colored so far, but I'm pretty much telling all my classes, whenever you finish your work, come color one of these for me, please. So hopefully I'll have enough at least by the end of tomorrow so we can start gluing them. It's 3:50. I just walked out, and on my way out, I did tell the janitor to be careful with the door. She is coming to vacuum everyone's room and clean up, and I don't want her to get white paint on her. So I did just stop to talk to her, and now I am headed to the car to go home. And I feel like today, like I said, it was kind of a fail because now I can't even take that for a grade. Obviously, most of the time, if I say something's a grade, I mean it, but I literally have 10 turned in and I have 90 students. So clearly it was a timing issue on my part, and I'm not going to take it for a grade, but I still think it's important that they did that because our standard does want them to find the similarities and differences between the 2 stories. So technically they did practice the skill, even if it's not a grade. But I am going to head home, which means I'm going to end this vlog. My day's officially over. It was a pretty good day. I can't complain. Sorry guys, all these teachers were watching me vlog because I'm in the teacher parking lot just talking to my phone like a crazy person. So I got in the car, but I am just going to end the video. It was a good day. I'm really working hard on my attitude because I know last year my attitude wasn't the best just because all the things I was going through at work. So now that my work environment is so much better, I'm really trying to embrace it and trying to be positive because I know there have been some days where I'm just cranky and there's no excuse for it. So today I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of how everything went. I'm proud of my attitude. I'm proud of the kids for working hard even if they couldn't finish. So overall, it was a great day. So I am gonna head home and I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Make sure you like, share, comment, and definitely subscribe, and I'll see you then. Bye guys.